All Stars Online is made possible by season sponsor Alpro and supported by Victoria Arduino and Ornex. Thank you for the support. Hello and welcome to All Stars Online. This is episode 1. So as you know, the World Coffee events All Stars are from all over the world. They represent a range of communities and different voices. So All Stars first episodes, we want to bring some of the voices, these voices for you. Thank you.
So my favorite competitor would be Charles Babinski. After his routine in 2015, I was inspired to do a competition one more time. He's very natural, and this is the type of a person that just sends his natural approach to coffee, and which is awesome.
So my favorite coffee competitor is Chris Youkakis. Chris was always inspiration for me as he won the 2011 World Flat Art Championship. I always admired his presentation and made me compete too.
My favorite competitor of all time has to be Lem Butler. What I like most is after he competed, to this day he's still been an amazing ambassador for coffee. So what he didn't stop on stage, he continues to do that today.
Dan Fowler is my favorite competitor, not just because he won 2 times World Coffee and Good Spirit Champion, or we used to work together. It is because he's so persist with his concept of his cocktail and also his routine, and his belief of focusing on a goal and then he will be the champion, and that's very inspiring.
My favorite competition barista is Adnan 30%. I love watching this guy on the stage. Like, he's in fact so much positive energy, and he's always very well prepared for the competition. I truly admire how this guy is spreading fun and good vibe on the backstage.
One of my favorite competitors is Agnieszka. Why? Because after she won the world title in barista, she never stopped competing in other competitions like latte art, coffee and good spirits, and brewers cup. She always had something new to learn, and she's a really inspirational person in the coffee industry.
My favorite coffee competitor, his name is Winston. He's the 3-time South African Barista Champion. The reason why I like this barista so much is because he is genuine. He's the people's champ. He knows his business. He's one of the smartest baristas out there I know. Not just because he has an engineering degree, but because he has dedicated his life to coffee.
My favorite coffee competitor is Shanina, the 2019 Australian Brewers Cup champion. She's very driven, very hardworking. She's an inspiration, and she's really encouraging and very passionate about helping others compete.
Badass competitor, true inspiration, true champion, always like a good challenge. Her name is Agnieszka, and I was honored to be on the same stage with her.
So, hi, Mikael, welcome.
Hey, Jess, how are you?
Good. They were mentioning some favorite competitors, but for you, Mikael, which one is your favorite competitor and why?
My favorite, there's a lot of favorites, all for different reasons, but I think overall, I really admire Miki Suzuki from Japan. She's just very cool, you know, like you see her and she has this really positive energy about her, you know, she's always very cheerful. But then when you listen to her on stage, she's actually talking about very serious and scientific stuff. And it's hard to deliver that kind of presentation while still maintaining a very casual manner. So yeah, I really like her. I really like her for that.
Awesome. Thank you. So, and now we will have our feature video. So would you like to introduce it?
Yeah, so this one is one of my favorite ways of making signature beverages. I use a very similar recipe to win the Indonesian Barista Championship this year, 2020. So it's very similar, but what I like about this coffee is actually because there's a fruit element to it, there's a chocolate element to it, which I really like, but also there's an aromatic element that I got from introducing tea. So it's just all around. Oh, also, I'm serving it on room temperature, which is something that doesn't really happen a lot, I think, in competition. So yeah, all in all, it's just very exciting. And I got to use an Indonesian coffee as well. So personally, it means a lot to me.
Awesome. So let's go to see it.
Hey folks, it's Mikael Jasin here from Indonesia, from So Good Coffee Company, and I am the number 4 ranked World Barista Champion in 2019. Today we're going to make one of my favorite signature beverages. I actually made a similar version of this for my 2020 Indonesian Barista Championship, which I won. So I really want to share the recipe with you folks. So what we need is obviously espresso. So 4 shots of espresso. Put them on top of this magnetic stirrer to open up the flavor and takes the edge off, so you don't get that bitterness and also harsh acidity that sometimes you get from an espresso. Today we have an Indonesian coffee, natural process from Toraja. The second one is raspberry and balsamic vinegar reduction. So I made this raspberry using raspberry, sugar, water, and balsamic vinegar. Reduce until you have this jam-like consistency, which you can dunk your donuts in. Really good. And then I also have this cacao nibs tea. So we made this tea using cacao nibs from forest, which is in the eastern part of Indonesia. Sous vide that, and then we put sugar and water in it as well to make this nice tea. Lastly, we have a tisane solution made using strawberry, rose, pink peppercorn, and green tea, and also added a little bit of phosphoric acid in this as well. So what we're going to do is to weigh all of our ingredients. So you want to keep stirring when you do this. I'm putting it on 1000 rotation per minute. So 4 shots of espresso, 20 grams of our raspberry and balsamic reduction. And then we're going to put 30 grams of our cacao nibs tea. Really nice. And then lastly, we want to put 60 grams of our tisane. And then you want to let it stir for a little bit. And then this drink will be around room temperature. So the idea behind this drink is I want to showcase what Indonesian coffee can be. So we have the traditional flavor that Indonesian coffee has, which is big body, a little bit chocolatey, but we also want to add more of the berry notes that you get from natural process, enhancing the cacao nibs flavor, and also adding a little bit of florality and also nice acidity with the phosphoric acid. Alrighty, so that's enough. Take a whiff, and I'm drinking it out of this really nice signed Miki Suzuki cup. It's really good. If you have an espresso machine at home, you can definitely try this recipe. Otherwise, you can also make it with very concentrated hot brewed tea. Any method that you choose, it's important that you drink it in a room temperature, so not too hot, not too cold, because it's very enjoyable on that temperature. Thank you so much. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and cheers. See you next time.
Yeah, it's amazing that we can see people from all over the world, really, and we thank everyone that joined us. We're going quick to the to the questions and see how it goes. We are going to speak a little more on Thursday in the Instagram Live, so you can still connect from Barista Guild account and for Mikael account, and it will be really fun. Hopefully, Mikael is going to show us again the signature thing.
I will do that.
For sure. So let's go to the Q&A questions. We have kind of a lot of questions.
There's a question from Guest123. Don't know who that is. But the question is, my dream is to compete in WBC. Any tips? Well, the tips, I think that was my dream in 2013. It was the first time I saw WBC on live stream. Like all my coffee idols were there. And then I didn't start competing until 2015, just to gather courage and to basically have enough experience for me to even have the confidence to go. But I think the tips is to just do the comps. Like you cannot be in WBC if you don't actually start competing, even in your regionals, because you have to build up skills, you have to build up confidence, and then every time you compete, you get feedback from the judges. And one day, eventually, I think you'll make it. Like I think it's the same for every one of us who have been on stage in WBC. It was one day it was a dream, and eventually it became our reality. So it's pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you. I think everyone should, that is barista wants to compete one day, and that's so good. Thank you. We are going to check him. We have him published. If you can check out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, we have a lot. Hi, Mikael. What is your personal coffee routine at home? Ask guest 423.
I didn't used to have one. Before COVID, I never drink coffee at home. I don't even have coffee at home. That's how bad it is. But now that I have to stay home a lot, the routine, like I have a kettle, I have a dripper at home, I have a hand grinder, and I have coffee just lying around in the freezer. But as far as routine goes, I don't normally drink coffee up until about 11 a.m. So I actually start my morning without coffee, which is, I think, a weird thing for baristas, but it is what it is.
Good. Wow. That's interesting that actually you don't have coffee, so it's your routine.
Yeah, no, I don't really have coffee up until pretty late in the morning.
Wow, awesome. Some people say that will explode your head if you cannot drink coffee in the morning. No. Good for you. So let's go for next. Guest 785. Hi, do you really need expensive equipment like kettle, grinder, scale to be able to make a good cup of coffee?
No, I don't think so. Like expensive equipments help, I guess. But to make a good coffee, you just need a good coffee beans, right? I've had really great cup of coffee made using like on a cupping table, right? You just need basically something to grind the coffee with, a hot water and some sort of bowl. And I actually made this guide on Instagram on how to brew coffee when you don't have a scale. So, like most people have spoons at home or measuring cups if you bake, and you can use that to replace scales. So the answer is no, you don't need expensive equipment. It helps though.
Sorry, sure. It's true. So let's go quick so we can answer as much as we can. We have many questions. What is your biggest challenge in a competition?
Biggest challenge is always to get the nerves out. So I always get very nervous, and doesn't matter how many times I've done it, it's just very hard. And yeah, that's it. I think it gets better after a while, but it's still the hardest for me personally anyway.
Oh, good. What is next question? Guest 74, what is your biggest challenge in a competition?
Didn't I just answer that? Oh, is it new?
Yeah. I just did it again. What did you choose to be a barista?
Well, back then, like 8 years ago when I started, I was just bored. I was working in retail, so I was bored. And being in Melbourne, cafes were everywhere, so baristas were, still is a very cool thing to do. And then, as we all know, once you get into coffee, you don't really get out, do you? Like, you're stuck. It just become a passion, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you get in and you cannot get out. So next, what is? Oh wow, Nicole! Wow, welcome, Nicole.
Oh hi, Nicole.
Are you interested in other competitions like brewers or good spirits?
Definitely good spirits. Not a lot of people knew, but I actually first competed in coffee and good spirits. I did it twice actually, back to back, 2015 and 2016 in Australia. I didn't win. I came second, but it was very cool. I really like it because it's less serious. I mean, it's serious, but the whole approach is a lot more fun. And when I was doing it in Australia, they didn't even do it on the same venue as the BaristaCom. So they actually chose a bar somewhere, and then we had to do it inside a bar. So yeah, it's very cool. Indonesia is set to have their first ever Coffee and Good Spirit Championship this year, if it's still happening. So hopefully, if the schedule fits, maybe I'll compete in CIGS. Not brewers. Brewers is too hard.
Awesome. Maybe we'll change your mind later.
No, it's too hard.
Okay. If you say so, we believe you. But some people compete, maybe we don't know. Just competing brewers also.
Yeah.
What's your most important advice if I'm thinking about starting to compete? Something for first competition.
When you do decide to compete and you actually compete, I think it's always important, if you do it for the first time, to not expect anything. So just try to do your best. I mean, train as hard as you can, but the first year is always to take as much feedback that you can from the judges and your fellow competitors and people that you meet during the competition stage. Take as much advice and feedback and criticism as you can. Learn from it. Learn from your score sheet. It's not going to be pretty. It's not going to be filled with sixes. It's going to be filled with, 2s and 2.5s. But it's okay, like you use that for next year, and hopefully the more you do it, the better your score gets.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm learning a lot. What is your favorite place you have traveled?
Probably Italy. It's just very pretty. yeah, it's even the sunrise and the sunsets look different, you know. Like it's there's something about a city with so much history and so much art and culture in it that, you know, you just can't beat. I think out of all the places that I've traveled, Italy's got to be the most impactful in a way and prettiest by far.
Wow, I like Italy too. So, ciao, all the Italians that
Yeah,
are around, and invite us next time. So another. Who inspires you?
who inspires me? A lot of people actually inspired me. I find inspirations from a lot of different people and things, and I feel like certain people inspire you in a different way. You know what I mean? Like when I see Matthew Tice in 2018 and his routine, I got really inspired by the way he delivers his message and presentation to the judges. You know, and then when you see someone like Lex, I replayed his video so many times because I was trying to see how he works with, you know, his hand movements, his workflow. It was just very great. And yeah, it's just, a lot of people really inspired me.
Cool. Okay. Thank you. We have two nice questions. I will mention them. Miro asked, have you participated in any smaller coffee competitions before those in the World Championship?
In 2014, I competed in a latte art throwdown in Melbourne. If you know Ben Morrow, he's an all-star as well, right? So Ben he organized this latte art throwdown for like local Melbourne baristas. Obviously, I failed miserably because I don't really know how to pour latte art, but it was fun, you know, like yeah, like throwdowns and regional competitions are fun because you basically know everyone and there's hundreds of people, so it was cool.
That's good. Awesome. Build also the community, right? You can share with people and learn something, even if you don't learn so much when you don't win. Nice. So the last time we go, wow, it went. Hello, Mick. Is latte art good for you? Is important for you?
Oh,
and you just answer it.
Ooh, well, it is important in a way that it is the last thing that you do before you send out the coffee, right? So it's the way you present your coffee, the same way that chefs plate their meal. So it is important to a certain extent, but what I always say, and I know I'm going to please a lot of people here, is that when you focus too much on the art, sometimes you forget that this coffee is to be drunk. And when you take too long or, you know, like you fill the cup way too much, you know, you're going to basically spoil the experience for your customers anyway. So you got to find a balance between presenting a nice latte art to be able to send your coffee drinks out pretty quickly.
True. Good. Thank you. What a great questions everybody sent. Thank you so much. The All-Star program was established in 2013 to give like a decorated opportunity for the World Coffee Championship and competitions. So we could learn from all the competitors to support especially coffee communities and just all around the world. So that's why we have the program All Stars. Let's check the video, how it goes, and we'll be back.
Ethiopia is one of my favorite coffee regions. So in going there, I was really excited to visit a couple cupping labs. Really cool to go to Matad and Geisha Village and cup coffees with them and see what the green coffee buyers are looking for when they're tasting coffee. This All-Stars in Ethiopia felt like the perfect marriage of bringing world ranking baristas to Ethiopia, where they're having a competition with baristas from all over the continent. We were able to do some friendly competitions with the baristas, taste their espressos, and give them feedback on their competition routines. Amanda, Lem, and I got to judge their competition. So it was fun to go and see all the enthusiasm.
What's up, everybody? Lem Butler here, the All-Star program in Ethiopia a few years back. It was an amazing experience that pretty much changed my life for the better. I've always dreamed about going to Ethiopia, the birthplace of coffee, and when I was invited to be an All-Star in Ethiopia, and I was just floored. It's really hard to explain the emotions. I went to Addis. I was blown away. I was amazed at the coffee scene. It was both traditional and modern. I've heard about the traditional coffee ceremony, and I was blessed to have that experience on the streets of Addis. And it was really amazing to share my experiences with these baristas and have them share their experiences with me. And I've been able to take that with me everywhere I go and apply that to what we do here at Black and White. It's all about community, and I've learned a lot about community from these baristas in Addis Ababa.
We are going now to try to show you the little musical video from 2016 World Lateral Champion Umpaul. Before we had the All-Star recap for the first ever All-Stars program in Ethiopia, so it was really nice to see it. How was it, Mikael? Could you see it?
The Ethiopian video, yeah, it was very cool. I wish I was there. Looks super cool.
Yeah. So, thank you.
Before we move on,
give thanks to tell me.
Just in case when people get links to the signature beverage video, there's a link on the handout section to your right, next to the polls. That is the recipe for the signature beverage. So if you want to try to replicate that at home, you can. You just need an access to either espresso machine, or you can make a really intense concentrated filter coffee.
Okay, cool. Let's say thank you to our sponsors. Thank you so much to because All Stars Online is made possible, but our season sponsor Alpro and supported by Victoria, Arduino, and Ornex. We really appreciate it, and thank you for support. Thank you everybody for joining us. It was really a pleasure to meet you, Mikael, and thank you everybody that really connected with us and was so good. We hope to see you on Thursday for the Instagram Live. We go with the short video musical from 2016 World Lateral Champion Umpaul. See you next time, guys. Bye-bye, everyone.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Anymore. It's getting
All Stars Online is made possible by season sponsor Alpro and supported by Victoria Arduino and Ornex. Thank you for the support.